Hello everybody, welcome to the second last short story of the year, The Last Breath by Sam Kahiga. I'm first going to give a short synopsis of the story so that you could get the picture. The story is all about the narrator, a young boy, almost 18 years of age, who falls in love with a blind girl, Eva. He brings Eva to meet his mother. Then on another day, the narrator and his father visit Eva at the school for the blind where she resides. On the way back home, the father tells the boy that he doesn't want him to marry a disabled person, but the son is determined. He tells the father that he will marry Eva when he comes of age. That means when he's basically 18 years old. He talks to his mother about the meeting between Eva, himself, and his father, and is shocked to hear from his mother that his father is dying of lung cancer. He gives Eva a cheap copper sort of engagement ring, but she refuses the ring because she tells him her own good news, and that is that she has a cornea donor that would give her sight. And then thanks to the father at his grave, and then thanks to the father, Eva gets her sight back, and she and the narrator can live happily ever after. The narrator goes back to his father's grave where he thanks him for the donation of his corneas so that Eva could see. Things that you need to know about the short story. First of all, the title. The title, The Last Breath, refers to the father's dying wish to donate his corneas to Eva. Literally, with his last breath, he did a very good deed, namely to donate his cornea. The setting of the story is, first of all, at the school for the blind. Then it was the car, the father's car, when the father and the narrator drove home. And then lastly, the family home. The climax of the story is when a mysterious donor has been found so that Eva receives her cornea transplant. And then the themes of this short story that comes out majorly is the first theme of love. The story explores the different types of love, namely romantic love, like between the narrator and Eva. Then there is the mature, enduring love between the father and mother. And then lastly, there's parental love, like the father's love for the narrator. Although he was against Eva because she was disabled, he was only concerned for his son because he loved his son a lot. The second theme that really comes out strong is the theme of organ donation. Eva lives a normal life after she has received corneas from the narrator's father. Before that, she was disabled. She was blind. The role of the parents is another theme. The narrator has a complicated relationship with his father, but he's close to his mother. The parents' interference with their children's choices is also a theme that comes out strongly. And the last theme is the one of prejudice. Eva is disabled and the father discriminates or is prejudiced against her. Also, the characters. First of all, there's the narrator. He's a headstrong, strong-willed, determined boy who wants to marry Eva despite his father's disapproval. He's also a risk taker because despite his father's disapproval, he goes out and he gets a copper ring, although it was a cheap ring for Eva. He's very caring, both towards his mother and his girlfriend, but in the end towards his father as well. He's non-judgmental because he doesn't see the fact that Eva is blind as a problem in their love. And he has love and admiration for Eva. The father is another main character. He is prejudiced towards the blind, but has a change of heart right in the end. He disapproves of the marriage. He interferes with his son's career plans because right at the beginning, his son tells him that he wants to study music, but the father wants him to work in a bank. He cares about his son's well-being and shows kindness in his last breath when he donates cornea to Eva. The mother is a third character. She's understanding and peaceful, loving, supportive. She's the peacemaker between the father and son. And then lastly, Eva. She is independent, although she is blind. The inner Eva, so that's the Eva that doesn't see with her eyes but with her heart, is far from helpless. She loves the narrator and has brought sunshine into his life. The style and structure of the short story. First of all, let's look at the tone. The tone changes throughout the story. At the beginning of the story, the father is angry and the narrator is frustrated or even bitter. The reason for this is that the father disapproves of the relationship between the son and the blind girl Eva. The son is angry because of this disapproval. The narrator's tone changes to shock when he learns of his father's illness. The shock tone changes to sadness with the death of his father, and in the end there is a joyful and even optimistic tone when Eva looks at the narrator through his father's eyes. The narrative voice in the story is a first-person narrator. That means the narrator is a character in the story and he tells the story from his own perspective. He can only report on what he sees and believes about the other characters. The mood and atmosphere in the story is somber, sad, even gloomy for much of the story. Because of the disability, the father's disapproval, then later on the father's illness and death. All these things make for a very sad and somber atmosphere. Then right at the end, the atmosphere or the mood changes to bright and cheerful because the narrator is with Eva, who can now see through the generosity of the father's donation of the cornea. Even the weather changes because the sun smiles again. And